Making a short video today about a site called theforce.net. If you haven't heard of it, they claim to be the largest Star Wars forum and basically think they're a big deal. Anyway, I was having a discussion with several feminists and people who tout the term SJW as a very positive term. And it was a polite discussion. I was telling them that I think the negative connotation that the term SJW has today is because of the bullying tactics that they use, the censorship, the hateful comments, the violence. That is why people consider the term negative. And made a post down here, and you can see right there, I believe I was explaining that the view of SJW is negative and why it was, and edited, nope, that was inappropriate for me to say. That was not something I can say on a Star Wars forum. And I believe somebody quoted me down here, and that still is in here. Okay, what I said was SJW actually started in the 90s as a positive term for those involved in social activism. That is true. It wasn't until the extreme left started to adopt abhorrent strategies like bullying, slander, assault, and vandalism that it became a negative term. That is also true. I'm not sure what you mean by co-opting hate speech. This was in response to an earlier post where somebody had said that the alt-right had been co-opting hate speech. I merely asked, what do you mean by that? Give me an example. I said, most of the people I consider alt-right, such as Richard Spencer, are very polite and intellectual, which he is. He's very polite and intellectual. And then I said his ideas suck and they would never work. Which, is me saying I completely disagree with Richard Spencer, despite him being polite and intellectual. And then I said, but he's entitled to his beliefs. In my mind, what separates SJWs from normal people on the left, if you think those who disagree with you are Nazis and must be eliminated through intimidation and abuse, you are an SJW. If you think racism and sexism are okay for certain groups, you are one as well. This person obviously thought that was completely inappropriate, said, good Lord! There's nothing polite about arguing for ethnic cleansing. I did some research. I think Richard Spencer mentioned ethnic cleansing once and called it peaceful. The media ran with it. He's never talked about it since. I don't care that Spencer puts peaceful in front of it as if there's any such thing as peaceful ethnic cleansing. I completely agree. I don't know what he was talking about there. People of color have the right to live in the United States. It is not up for debate. And the fact that you label so-called SJWs as bullies, but call an actual white supremacist peaceful and intellectual just validates the worst assumption people make about the Last Jedi crowd. Which, what? What does that have to do with The Last Jedi? Yeah. As far as people of color living in the United States, I completely agree they have a right to live in the United States. I believe Spencer's belief is that separating the races leads to more peace because people of different groups don't naturally get along, which is also true if you look at the history of mankind. Even in the Middle East, people of different religions do not get along. They have to be separated in different states. Same with the country of Africa. Look at a map of Africa. Do you see borders? Yes, you see borders, you see different countries. That's because people in those countries have different beliefs, different rules, different governing systems, different types of government. They need their own state. They're not being separated because white supremacists went in there and said, no, you guys need to be separated. They're being separated because they get along better in separate countries. And if I'm wrong about that, please correct me. Still don't see what that has to do with The Last Jedi, but whatever. I don't think anyone else quoted me here. A poster defending Richard Spencer, an ardent white supremacist and neo-Nazi sympathizer, is new low for this website. I was not defending Richard Spencer. I said he is polite and well-spoken. He sounds intellectual. That is his appeal. That was not me defending him. This is why people don't like people on the left at SJWs, because they jump to conclusions. You and he have the right to say what you want. Well, thank you. But we have the right to call him and you racist scum. And an apologist for racist scum here and elsewhere. Show me where I was being racist there. You and your Yuriko poisoning what was once the most tolerant fan communities around, but you can't hide here. We're on to you. So please take your white supremacist appeasing self and fuck off, or whatever he was going to say. I think I can read between the lines. Where was I being a white supremacist or a racist? No, here it's actually guilt by association. I mentioned Richard Spencer. Didn't immediately say, I said his ideas were awful, which they are. I didn't immediately say, oh my god, that guy's a Nazi, he needs to be killed. And because I didn't say that, I'm a white supremacist and neo-Nazi sympathizer. See how crazy this is getting? And again, calling people who actually promote ethnic cleansing play is one of the reasons why others are dismissing the people who are not fans of what is being done as bigots. What? There's nothing polite about wanting to eradicate an entire people just because you say it calmly and nicely doesn't dispel the disgusting notion it carries. Exactly, I believe that. But because of charisma, people are drawn to Richard Spencer, just as they were drawn to Hitler, just as they were drawn to every dictator throughout history. If you don't recognize that and why he's so popular, you can't fight him. Sorry, getting a text message. Anyway. More stuff here. And I don't know what I said there. Yeah, see you later. Not. I got banned. Okay. Here's a quote for me. I'm well aware there are some fanatical people on the left, but do you seriously think that praising the beautiful manners... Well, that's somebody said to me, I didn't say that, of a white supremacist, as evidently this person is the best way to make that point, or any point. Might not have been the best way to make that point, but I wasn't calling him beautiful. I was saying that he is polite and seems intellectual, which is why he's so popular. And I'm sorry, but being a complete idiot and not seeing what I was saying makes you look stupid. It doesn't make me look stupid. I'm not seeing anything else here as far as this issue goes. Okay, it looks like that's it. So yeah, I just thought I would show people exactly what... This is a huge issue in Star Wars fandom, okay? You can't even explain why a person like Richard Spencer is popular without being banned for hate speech. Even though I said I disagree with him, I think his ideas are terrible. Just bringing him up is hate speech. Well, I'm sorry, but if you don't bring up people that you disagree with, you can't fight them. And if bringing up somebody on the alt-right that you disagree with and saying, the alt-right has the right to their opinions and views is considered hate speech, then it's just going to radicalize the alt-right. It's going to drive people to their side. So congratulations, you just created your own worst nightmare. Anyway, here's what I am greeted with if I try logging in. Okay. You are currently banned from the Jedi Council forums. You are a terrible person. Also, George Lucas hates you. No, George Lucas hates Kathleen Kennedy and the way Star Wars is going right now. He does not hate me. He does not know me. In most cases, bans are temporary. Please submit an unbanned request using the unbanned request forums, which, as you can see, I cannot access, to inquire about the nature and duration of your ban. And you see down here, banned for hate speech for mentioning Richard Spencer and saying I disagree with him. Guys, this is ridiculous, and I shouldn't have to make a video defending my views, which are, pretty benign and pretty centrist, because you want to overreact about every little thing and throw your banning weight around. I'm sorry, but not everybody is going to agree with your political views, and if they don't, you can't throw a little fit and act like a little bitch and feel you can censor people and throw people out. Well, sure, you can do that. Of course, it's your website. You can do whatever you want. But it's only going to make people angry. It's just going to radicalize. It's going to, make people like me, who's an extremely left-wing person as far as social issues and economic issues go. It's going to make me think, well, maybe those people on the alt-right have something. I mean, they're accepting of me. They're not going to ban me for mentioning Richard Spencer and saying I disagree with him. I mean, they might call me a faggot for saying that, but they're not going to ban me. So you guys might want to think about that. Anyway, this video is long enough now. It's probably too long to post, but I just thought I would get that off my chest. Thank you, and have an excellent day.